PMPBeta, YouTube, whoever else is watching out there, EonBlitz47 here, with my first ever YouTube upload to PMPBeta. Definitely not a well-known person around here in the Pokemon community, but what do you think this is here for? This is here to display our content, to gain some publicity, to show your stuff. And you know what? I'm here to show my stuff. Not in that kind of way, but I do have stuff as in a UU match against Renwit355, a guy that I met on the Pokemon Online server, and it resulted in a pretty strategic, not uber strategic, but still a good match nonetheless. We do have good Pokemon on both sides, so we just decided to start the battle. I do decide to leave with Sableye, as I expect Registeel to be the lead of choice. And obvious Stealth Rocks is obvious, so I decided to go for a Taunt. It's really safe, and he does end up going for Stealth Rocks, so very well played beginning move in the beginning, obviously. I do go for a Will-O-Wisp. It does miss, unfortunately, because I wanted to weaken this thing somehow. It's always good to get some status move on a defensive wall, and Thunder Wave and Will-O-Wisp are the only ones that I have that will work on this team. I do have Confuse Ray, but you can just switch out and get rid of that. I do end up missing the Will-O-Wisp on the Registeel, however, and I missed the Will-O-Wisp on the Chandelure that ends up switching in, and it was a really stupid move. I don't know why I went for Will-O-Wisp, but Chandelure comes in, and thank God it misses, because that would have been horrible. Have to, 69% HP. Yeah, I'm immature sometimes. But anyways, it would have been horrible to deal with that Fire Blast if it was boosted. And I do end up breaking the Chandelure's Air Balloon, which is kind of interesting. I don't knock interesting sets. I'm all for it. But literally it doesn't end up working out for him there, because I do end up breaking it and switching out to Porygon 2, as it is my best Chandelure wall, as I didn't want Sableye taking those Shadow Balls, and I knew it could just absorb them being a normal type Pokemon. And tracing Flash Fire, I know I could take Fire Blast for days and just boost my fire attacks, which I don't have, but still. I wanted to catch this Chandelure with a Thunder Wave or whatever switches in. With Thunder Wave, hopefully not Flygon, but it ends up being Registeel. And thank God I'm able to get some status on this thing, because I was hoping to get the Will-O-Wisp off, but Thunder Wave is just as good. It slows him down, and it can cause Para Hacks. I decided to scare out the Registeel with Sableye by maybe scaring him out with a Taunt, but he ends up switching in Chandelure, and I'm able to abuse that with the Recover by recovering some health. He goes for Energy Ball here, and I'm deciding to just Shadow Sneak him in order to get him down to health. I know Chandelures are quite fragile, so I decided that Shadow Sneak is probably the best bet to go for, and I do end up killing it with the Shadow Sneak on the second turn after I go for the first one. And it ends up killing the Chandelure, and he's the first one to bite the dust in this whole battle. Azumarill is the next Pokemon to come out, and I'm really not looking forward to taking a Waterfall from this thing, especially if it was Choice Banded. So I switch out to Swampert, who could definitely take this. It would be a 2-hit KO, if not maybe 3-hit KO, and it looks like a 3-hit KO on this one, but not as much damage as I was really expecting. It was done to me. Like, it should have done a bit more, like right nearly half. Definitely 52% or something. It could have been a Muscle Band set. I'm not knocking it. Like I said, I'm up for unorthodox sets. But still, you never know. Obvious Ludicolo switch is obvious, so I do decide to abuse it, set up my Stealth Rocks. But I am fearing the Energy Ball or Giga Drain from this Ludicolo, so I switch into Crobat. It can double resist, but I find out it's a Sub-Seed set, as I was expecting it to be a Life Orb set, but I guess I was wrong. And you know, incorrect plays happen. You just gotta roll with it, you know? I decided to switch in Sableye, as I want to stop this thing from setting up Leech Seeds and Subs and Protects and all this other stuff as soon as possible. I do try to go for Taunt here, but he ends up protecting and already getting a Leech Seed off, so that's really not working out the way I wanted it to. I kind of wanted him to protect the first time as I switched in, but or maybe even use the Energy Ball, but unfortunately, it's just not doing what I wanted to. And Leech Seed is starting to take its toll on me as I'm starting to lower some health, and Energy Ball hits me. I do get the Taunt off, but I really wanted to preserve Sableye for later on in the battle to take care of other Pokemon like Registeel that's still running around. But that didn't work out. I do, however, end up being able to preserve it by recovering off while he switches out. I really just went for Recover, as I thought it would be the best bet. I do have priority, as I am Prankster, But he switches into Machamp, not the best move in my opinion. I would have just saved Ludicolo and went for the Energy Ball, like kept him in, and I end up burning his Machamp in the process too, not fearing that he was a Guts variant, because none of them are Guts really. Most of them just run No Guard because they want to spread status around with Dynamic Punch. But he does end up surprising me with a powerful Ice Punch, and it does end up killing me in the process. So that's horrible. I do decide to send out Defensive Hitmontop. It is my answer to all fighting types, as they usually carry Rock and Fighting attacks, and even Dark. And this is Defensive Hitmontop, so I do get the Intimidate off, and he's burnt, and he's using Close Combat to lower its defenses, so it's looking pretty good for me. I do end up Rapid Spinning his rocks away, as I really am tired of dealing with Stealth Rocks, and it's always best to have mine up on the field too. And his Registeel's paralyzed, so I'm not expecting him to be sending up rocks anytime soon, and I do want to set up taunts with my Crobat on him, so I'm not really scared. I figure it's a good time to do it. He does switch in his Azumarill as I switch in my Crobat, as I want to resist the close combats the best as possible, but he decides to answer that double switch with an Azumarill switch in, and gets the Ice Punch off, and it really does a lot more than I was expecting, because I do have some HP investment in this Crobat, but nonetheless, I do have an answer. I U-turn out, and switch into my beautiful Porygon 2, because I know it can definitely take this, and I wanted to reveal also whether this thing had huge power or not, if this thing was just weak or not, and I find out that it has Sap Sipper. Unorthodox sets, again, I'm cool for it, but I don't know if it was the best. I think Choice Band, the huge power, would have been the best in your favor, because it would have done a lot to my Swampert, and you could have taken out a major defensive wall on my team. But hey, the battle's done, and we just go along with it. I do end up catching the Registeel with Thunderbolt, as I wanted to hit the Azumarill with Thunderbolt, but unfortunately not everything goes as planned, and Registeel comes in. I do switch in Zapdos as he sets up rocks again, which is unfortunate. I was expecting a Parahax or him to go for Thunder Wave, but he ends up carrying Toxic, which really surprised me. For some reason I expected all of them to have Thunder Wave, but this one had Toxic, and it really caught me off guard. I was really upset, but I do have the Heat Wave and try to get a lot of damage off on it. Didn't do as much as I thought, missed the KO, and I decided to try to finish it off with Thunderbolt in case he switched in someone like Ludicolo, but he ends up switching in Flygon, expecting me to go for that Thunderbolt or to resist the Heat Wave, and I decide, okay, I need to get rid of this thing as fast as possible. I know I can take an Outrage, so I decide to go for the Hidden Power Ice to go for the kill, but he switches in Registeel, and I'm like, what are you doing? And now I'm starting to look at my health and realize, oh, crud. This thing's Life Orb stalling me and Toxic stalling me at the same time. And right as I use Hidden Power Ice and get the damage off on this surprise switch into Ludicolo, my health is whittled down by 10% thanks to Life Orb and 20% thanks to Toxic. So unfortunately, Rapid Spin got rid of the Stealth Rocks. Still, Registeel caused more problems than just Stealth Rocks, and ended up killing me and switching around and Toxicking me, and it was a real pain in the arse. I do end up switching to Crobat, because I know it's the best thing that can take on Ludicolo, and he switches into Registeel, probably as fodder, and I expected that, so I decide to go for a nice landing, roost up my HP for 2 turns in a row, expecting an Ice Punch not to do that much damage, or to receive some Parahax. Thank God, I got the Parahax, and was able to roost myself all the way back up to 100%, and be able to Brave Bird this thing and KO it. And I know that I'm going to take little to no recoil damage, and if anything, if I did, Black Sludge would definitely bring it back up. He switches in a Azumarill. I was expecting Aqua Jet here. I know it wouldn't have killed, but however, it's starting to look bad for him. I'm starting to kill his Pokemon. It was 4-4, but 5-4, sorry, and he was having an advantage. And now things are starting to look bad for him. His Azumarill's died, and Flygon's coming in. I expected Outrage, because I don't know why he wouldn't have gone for it. It would have done so much more damage, and it probably would have killed my Crobat in the end. But he decides to lock in a Dragon Claw. Maybe he didn't have Outrage and had Dragon Claw just for safe keeps, but it's not the best. It's not looking too good for him. I am gaining back more with Roost than he is dealing with Dragon Claw, so it's starting to look kind of bad for him. I'm deciding to just Roost up my damage all the way back up to a place where it's safe, where I can Brave Bird him and it won't do too much recoil that it's going to be destructive perhaps in the process. And that's what I do. I end up gaining back health thanks to Black Sludge and Roost, and Flygon is starting to not do so much damage to me. It's only doing 36% damage, and I decided it's time to kill it off with the Brave Bird. So there goes Flygon, sent to Pokemon Hell. If that exists, I'm not sure. But still, he's gone, and now it's starting to look like GG. Ludicolo and Machamp are both weak to flying attacks. Crobat outspeeds both of them, obviously. And it's looking like a one-hit KO from where they are, health-wise. I ended up taking out the Ludicolo, which was the more bigger problem in my opinion. And Machamp is burnt already. I wasn't fearing a burnt Ice Punch. That wasn't going to do a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter anyways, because I'm able to Brave Bird and take this thing out, securing me a 4-0 victory over Renwit355. Crobat, definitely the MVP of the match. Very happy. I haven't used this team in a long time, honestly. I used it a few weeks ago. It's been a while since I've used it, but clearly, I'm looking back now, it's a pretty good team. But that's not the point. The point is, I've uploaded a UU match here for you, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I don't know if it was the best battle ever, but still, I really had fun doing it. I had fun doing this narration. Hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, sub, and check out my channel whenever you want, and just thanks for watching my video and taking the time to do it. Alright, peace out, guys. Bye.